Yo, we're live. Happy Thursday to everyone. Hope you're all enjoying your week. As I'm sure you've probably heard, the heater has come to an end. I had a losing Wednesday night. It was bound to happen. We couldn't do that forever. Now the question becomes, is this going to turn into a cold streak, or are we going to get right back on the horse? Not the most electric night of basketball, but got a couple college games we're going to talk about. There's 5 NBA games. And I do like my NBA bets tonight. So it's not like I think the slate sucks. It's just there's not many of them. So, all right. Let me end this poll here. And we got 2 college basketball games to start with off the bat. The first one is Minnesota at Michigan State. So we got Minnesota plus 11. Michigan State, or at least it was 11 before. Pass. Poll is running. Andrew, what are your thoughts?
We were very in depth on this one yesterday, so I really like this game. I think it's the second best game of the day behind the Michigan game. I'm leaning Michigan State pretty heavily here. Minnesota not great on the road in their true road games. Michigan State's played 11 home games. A lot of them were against bad competition, but I really liked what I saw from them on Sunday against Rutgers. They were playing a close game, then they really blew them out in the second half. Strength of schedule really favors Michigan State, so I think they're tested. I think they cover this number today.
Cool. Toast, are you in agreement?
Yep, couldn't agree more. Minnesota's played one of the easiest schedules in the country, while Michigan State, has played a top 10 schedule. I think we see another big loss out of Minnesota here today. Michigan State, when they win games by a big number. When they've lost, they've obviously lost some games that they usually don't win or usually don't lose under Tom Izzo, but when they have won, they've won by multiple possessions. On top of the fact that guys like Tyson Walker and AJ Hoggard didn't really look good at Rutgers in that win, so I think they bounce back today. So I think it's Sparty big tonight.
Scoop, we sweeping Michigan State?
We are not.
What? Minnesota.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say what Michigan State team's going to come out. Basically, it's going to come down to Dawson Garcia against Tyson Walker because, those are the only guys on both teams that can actually light up a scoreboard. Dawson's been struggling a bit, but Ola Joseph's been scoring at a solid point. Michigan State stays in games because of their defense. They're 10-7, but I think that's half because of their schedule and half because they're inconsistent. Hoggard's been terrible. Akins has been average. Minnesota's not a bad team. If anything, I know Michigan's, they're on a 2-game losing streak, Indiana and Iowa. But Michigan State beat Rutgers. I still don't forget about the Northwestern James Madison losses. It is funny that all their wins are by double digits, though, but I'm leaning Minnesota.
So we got to lean towards Minnesota. We're not sweeping Michigan State here. I'm putting Michigan State up for myself. I like what Andy and Toast had to say. And there was a guy in the comments, a diehard Michigan State fan, before the show started. He wrote this long thing about betting Michigan State.
I will give Scoop some. We'll say to Scoop's point, Minnesota has been one of the best ATS teams in the country so far this year. So he could do worse with it.
14-3 against the spread, but didn't they start off like 13-1 though?
Yeah.
So that would mean they're like 1-2 in the last 3. But all right, so our poll leaning towards Sparty, 59% to 23%, pretty heavily favoring Michigan State here. Next game, South Florida at Memphis. I was surprised you guys had this one on the list, but it's on ESPN, I think. So I get it. We don't see many of these games. All right, so South Florida plus 11, Memphis minus 11, pass. Poll is running. Toast, do you have a move here?
Yeah, so I leaned South Florida, but the numbers kind of moved. I liked them much more, like 12, I think it was at least. I think it's around 10 now. I would pick them and I would lean over because both of these teams play up and down and fast. Here's why I don't want to play Memphis. Memphis has been very good, but they've also been one of the luckiest teams in the country. Top 20 in luck as far as Ken Pom, number 2 in far as luck as far on shot quality. And then Penny Hardaway as a double-digit favorite, just 15 and 23 ATS as a favorite of 10 or more. Not to mention you have shitty weather. All the schools have been closed all week and stuff, so I don't know how that packed of a house is going to be in Memphis. But so yeah, I lean towards the dog, but I didn't play it myself.
Andrew, Eric Shipley in the comments, who's getting decked tonight? Is South Florida going to get decked?
No, I don't think it's going to be South Florida. Actually, I think they cover as well. Memphis is before last game was playing really close games with teams. They were playing close games with SMU, Tulsa, UTSA. They did just blow out Wichita State, but that was I'm not really in love with that Wichita State team. USF, the numbers kind of their away rankings didn't scare me off of them, so I think they do enough to keep it close. I'm still the Vanderbilt game is still stuck in my head with Memphis. They played a really close game with probably the second worst Power 6 team in the country in Vanderbilt, and pretty much since then I've been away from them. So
2 for South Florida. Scoop, 3 for South Florida?
I hope this isn't a trend, but I am fading both of them again. I mean, Memphis, fourth longest winning streak in the nation. I don't see this being particularly close. I actually think Memphis wins closer to 20. 105 points back-to-back games. USF lost his 3 road games to Hofstra, UMass, and UAB. I mean, Memphis's effective field goal percentage is 54%. I think South Florida, they're not necessarily a bad team, a bad offense. I just think they're not going to keep up with Memphis. They average less than 70 on the road. Memphis just decked Wichita State. I mean, USF's been good. I mean, they're 6-1-1 against the spread in the last 8, but they barely won a game against Rice. They were down 11 with 11 minutes left. I just think Memphis pulls it up.
So Scoop going on. I'm not even putting a pick up for myself on this one. I have no idea. Like, I couldn't tell you a single thing. I couldn't even tell you who coaches these teams. Nothing.
Come on, Penny, bro.
I don't even know. Are these teams in the American Conference, like football? Is that what they're? Yes. I don't even know what basketball conference they're in. That's how little.
No, it's 2 former NBAers. It's Penny Hardaway versus Amir Abdul-Rahim.
Mm-hmm.
Amir Abdul-Rahim. I remember him. I think Sharif doesn't Sharif coach too. Abdul-Rahim.
Sharif is
coaching. I think all the
we love Abdul-Rahim coach.
And the kid, we were just watching. The kid plays for Georgia. We were just watching.
Good. Yeah.
40%, 32%. Well, 32% click pass. So let's move on to the next one. And Prop Beaver is with us. Hello, Prop Beaver. How was the next game last night? Hold on. They can't hear you. Because I messed up. Hold on. I can fix it in 2 seconds. Wait. Oh, wrong one. Your new cam. Control audio via OPS. Now, hold on. There we go. They should be able to hear you now.
Just ruined my fucking climactic entrance, but whatever.
So tell us, how was the Knicks game, AJ?
The Knicks game was awesome. Got to see the Knicks win. The seats were dope. Got to catch up with some boys, so it was a good time. So, yeah, on to today.
Knicks really pulled it out. Looked good late in the third quarter. Really pulled away. Screwed my Rockets bet.
Yeah, I know. We missed our SGP yesterday. We had a 6-legger by Dante DiVincenzo, 1-3. So, devastating loss. On to today.
All right. So, the first game we're going to talk about, and it's Bulls Raps. And there's a guy in the comments who actually was on the same page as us. He said, hold on, let me hide this guy from the channel. He's just spamming. So let me scroll up and find his comments. It's Corey Moss. Here he is. He goes, I got one lock today in the NBA. I want to see if the Sauce Network agrees with me. Under 225.5 Toronto, Chicago, but the line has moved against me. And we were just talking on the phone, me and Prop Beaver, and we both like the under too. So we're with you on that.
I do like the under, but I have switched to a play that I like more than the under. I'm also not trying to double bet that game, so I'm not going to bet the under. I'll bet it for a half unit probably, but my other play I like more.
Gary Trent.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I like Gary Trent quite a bit today. We saw his role finally increase last game with the amount of guys who have gotten traded lately. Most of the season, he's been playing less than 25 minutes per game, not really getting the volume, able to hit those shots. But last game against the Heat, just yesterday, I mean, he looked incredible. He was able to get 31 minutes, 13 shots up, and he made, 8 threes yesterday in a blowout win. Am I expecting that same ungodly efficiency? No, but I'm expecting the opportunity to be there. He had the 13 field goal attempts, as I mentioned. And if we look at his season on the whole this year with some volume, specifically looking at the three-pointers, let's filter that to 11. So with 11 plus field goal attempts this year, this is a guy who's 12-5 to the over, averaging 3.4 field goals made per game. And what I really like about this one for Gary Trent is that on 0 days rest, this guy's been a monster going back to last year. He's shooting 50% from 3 on 0 days rest this year. He was shooting well above 45% last year. This is a guy who's 4-0 to line on 0 day rest this year, even with low volume, and 9-3 last year with 11 plus field goal attempts. And this Bulls team, You discussed it in the video yesterday. I mean, this is a team that wants to funnel looks away from the rim, funnel looks away from the paint, and get guys shooting from mid-range, the corner, and from above the break. That's all Gary Trent does. He's within the bottom 20th percentile in terms of rim attacking. So I just think that this is the perfect matchup for him to go ahead and deck those deck those Bulls from outside. And yeah, I like it. It's at like minus 140 on FanDuel. I want to wait to see what the other books do. If I get this like minus 125, I'm going to go in on it. If it's at minus 140 still across the board, I'm probably going to either parlay it with like Gary Trent 12 plus points, little correlated action, see if I can get the price down, or the Timberwolves money line, because I can see the Grizzlies keeping that one close, but I'd be shocked if they win that game.
All right. First of all, I like that look because points may be at a premium as far as scoring on the interior for the Raptors. So I like that look. Second of all, let's relax about the graphics. My graphics guy went to the Knicks game last night instead of setting these graphics up. Well, actually, Andy would have done these, and I let him leave early. But still,
I couldn't do that game.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. He couldn't. Anyway, so as you know, I'm on the Raps in this one. Let's put it up on the screen. I said, right, I'm going to sound like a broken record giving this same little spiel every time I bet Toronto, but it's the truth. I said when the trade happened that RJ's going back to his hometown. He's from right outside of Toronto. Emmanuel Quickley's the type of guy that gets the fans up. So I said right when the trade happened, this Raptors team is going to have a new energy for the time being. I don't think I don't think they're a great team like down the stretch, but I think they're playing with an energy right now. And since that trade, they're 6-2-1 against the spread. They've played 9 games. Sure, they're just They're just 4-5. Yeah, they're 4-5 straight up. So they haven't been winning a ton of games, but they're covering. They're 6-2-1 against the spread, which, as I said on YouTube last night, that's a gold mine. That's what you want to find. You want to find a team that covers the number but doesn't win. The reason for that is you'll continue to get a good price because the casual bettor is just pulling up the game logs and be like, Raptors suck, they keep losing. So you're going to keep getting a good price. That being said, what Brock Beaver said is true about the matchup. This should be a really tough matchup, this Bulls defense, as far as the Raptors scoring points. They've been attacking the rim a lot, and surprisingly, the Bulls have been really good on the defensive interior. I don't know how, because Vujicic is he's so I don't want to say soft, but he's just not the kind of guy I think of when I think of a good physical defender. But the Bulls as a whole have done a really good job defending the interior, so Raps are probably going to be forced to take more outside shots than they'd like. But still, this Toronto team continues to deliver for me, so I have no reason to bail on them. I'm rolling with the Raps here at +2, +2.5, whatever you can get it at. I think they win. I also bet the money line a little bit too. Scoop?
You called Vucevic Voyacek.
I know. As soon as I said it, that's the guy that used to play on the. There was a Vujicic too, dude. Anyway, go ahead.
I actually I agreed with you too from the start. I'm actually on the under in this game personally. I think that's the best bet you can make right now. I guess this is Scotty Barnes' team now. I still think it's a less talented team overall after their trades. I think they're rebuilding, but it's funny because the last time they played each other, Podol had 15, Siakam had 18, and Anunoby had 26. None of them are there. None of them are playing. So, I mean, before this game, the Bulls won 4 of their last 5 besides the Cleveland game, and Levine's been playing better since coming back from injury. And DeRozan had his worst game of the season last game. I think he had 6 points. It's a nice bounce-back game for him facing a kind of mediocre defensive team. You said it, Bulls have a great interior defense, but if you're looking to bet, I would bet the under, if anything, and if you think Toronto's going to win, I would personally bet the money line because I could see value in that.
Yeah, I did take a little of the money line. And the poll says Knicks Heat. Oh, I just never updated the poll. That's why. Jesus, man. Poll's wrong too.
It could be a letdown spot. I mean, they're 2-5 on no rest days for Toronto, so I still think the under is the best bet.
All right, let's move on to the next one. I messed up the poll there. I assume that this is going to be a Raptors program, though. We've been betting the Raptors here in this community. We've been hitting, so I doubt our viewers are all of a sudden bailing on the Raptors. They're probably thinking the same thing I'm thinking, which is like, why don't we keep betting the Raptors? They keep paying us. So next game. We got more NBA. Back-to-back NBA here before we get back to college basketball. And this one is Wizards at Knicks. And I was talking to Prop Beaver. Prop Beaver put out 2 plays for this one I saw on Twitter. I thought
one play.
No, you put up 2. Oh, it was a an SGP.
Yeah.
I thought you should have went with Tyus Jones. I'm telling you.
Well, Kamish has Tyus Jones. You guys can hold hands and bet them together.
I don't have the notifications on for for Kamish. That's why.
Nor do I. I just look at Twitter and I see what he posts.
What are you betting here? Say it.
Yeah, I'm betting the SGP. Brunson 7+ assists, Hartenstein 12+ rebounds. Playable on FanDuel, DK, MGM, ESPN. So pretty available. Duo has cashed the last 4-6 games together, including 19 Hartenstein rebounds and 8 assists against Washington. In that game, Hartenstein had 29 chances, while Brunson had 18 potential assists. So plenty of chance for these guys to go over the line. Brunson's cashed 7+ assists his last 21 to 30 games, last 9 to 10 home games, and 6 to 7 games since the OG trade. And since that trade, Brunson is third to just Halliburton and Trey in terms of potential assists in the league. Now going to face a Washington team who allows the most assists per game on the season to point guard. So he has a beautiful matchup. Hartenstein's cash his last 6 to 8 games, averaging 14.6 rebounds per game. Ridiculous. During that span, he leads the league in rebound chances, even more than Gobert. And Washington's the worst rebounding team this league has perhaps ever seen. Now they're down Daniel Gafford. They're
because he was just Gafford was such a force on the boards.
On the board, I know he's such a puss on the boards, but Marvin Bagley could arguably be an even bigger puss. So, I mean, at the price, I'm gonna take it. Both of the lines I liked straight up this morning, but I drank a little at the game last night. I wasn't in my proper state this morning. Wasn't in my proper flow. So
wow.
I lost a bit of CLV on those straight up lines. So I parlayed them down a peg for plus money.
You know, alcohol can ruin your life. You should really relax with that. Scoop.
Okay, Mr. Johnny Walker, Black Label.
Scoop, what do you think about, you're a Knicks fan? Are you laying 12, 11 and a half? Are you doing that?
I'm going to lay the 12. I mean, I guess it's going that way too. It's going towards the Knicks, 12 and a half, 13, but I don't trust the Wizards to cover. I mean, Wizards are last in scoring defense. They can't rebound the ball. Like Beaver said, it's like 30th to 2nd in the league. I mean, Mitch was a good rebound, but Hartenstein's been awesome, man. He's been so good on it. I think he's going to come close to 19 boards tonight. I mean, he played 40 minutes yesterday. Brunson's a little banged up. I was kind of worried he wouldn't play today, but I think only Hart's questionable now.
No. I thought it was the opposite. I thought it was Hart is ruled in and Brunson's questionable. Let me double check that. No, you're right. I must have read it wrong.
I mean, New York just beat the same Wizards team 2 weeks ago on the second night of a back-to-back at Washington, and they beat them by 16. And they're the only team not to lose to a team with a sub-500 record, by the way. Go Knicks.
Until tonight. No, I'm just kidding.
Not going to happen.
This is the way I go in this one. I didn't bet it. But like Scoop just said, the Knicks just saw the Wizards on the second leg of a back-to-back and beat them by 16 in Washington. So everything I'm about to say has kind of been deciphered a little bit. But one instance doesn't rectify remove the fact that the Knicks are in a back-to-back. Their backcourt is banged up. They're laying 12 points here. And one thing the Wizards do really well is push the tempo. You would never guess it, but the Washington Wizards are first in the NBA in efficiency in the fast break. So they push the tempo and they score. They get outrun and they score. Their problem is they just don't have any sort of presence on the defensive interior. So, yeah, the door is going to be wide open for Julius Randle or like probably you said, Hartenstein to pretty much do whatever they want down there, so, which just makes this one tough. I'd lean Wizards plus 12. Don't love it. Our poll. Someone said, I took out a small business loan going all in with Kyle's picks. Jesus Christ. All right, 44%, 35%. Knicks win the poll. Next. We're back to college basketball. We're talking Illinois, Michigan. Someone actually was just asking about this game in the comments. So if you're still here, perfect timing. So real quick. Illinois minus 2.5. Michigan plus 2.5. Pass. I'm putting my pick up first because straight up, this is a fade of Michigan. Illinois minus the 2.5. The only reason I bet Michigan recently was they were at home and it was their first home game after the national championship, and I figured they would do some kind of honoring for Jim Harbaugh. See, Andy's laughing at me, but I thought that was a good reason to back him. And it worked.
You were right.
That was the only – this Michigan team they suck. So, yeah, Illinois minus 2.5. I would have never bet Michigan if it wasn't for that particular spot. Andy?
Yeah, the only reason I would even consider it is because Michigan's at home. However, if you go through their differences in home and away, Michigan 4-4 at home this year with losses to Long Beach State and McNeese State. McNeese is a good team, but losing to those teams at home can't happen. Illinois, they are 1-2 on the road, but their losses are to Purdue and Tennessee. They play well on the road. They're just losing the game. Yeah, I think they blow out Michigan today. Michigan is just not a good team, like you said. Awful team. Illinois, battle tested as could be. I think they're maybe second best team in the Big Ten. I don't even know if there's a question about that. So, yeah, I'm Illinois here.
All right, so that's two of us on Illinois. Or Toast, let's bring up Toast next.
I would argue that's a big question. I think Wisconsin is head and shoulders better than them. I think Purdue's better than them. I probably would say Northwestern's better than them too, especially without Shannon.
But is Michigan better than them?
No, but I'm not betting this game. But if I had to, I would take Michigan here tonight.
What?
I understand how bad Michigan has looked at times this year, and it's an absolute bloodbath in that program with everything going on. But the fact of the matter is, they'll still have Dougie McDaniel tonight. That he should be able to play. Michigan, keep in mind, has also played a very good schedule, number 5 in strength of schedule in overall. So it's not like they're playing a whole bunch of cupcakes overall. Yes, as Andy said, they've had some very bad home losses and losses in general. But this Illinois team just really doesn't look the same without Shannon. I'm just really not there with them. They're not going to have some huge size advantage against Michigan either. I just, especially with all these guys coming back with Domask and Guerrier and Hawkins, like I see them more of a defensive team. So I lean Michigan here. But like I said, I didn't bet it, but it just seems kind of gross, but it just feels like a Michigan spot to me.
Scoop?
Yeah, like Toast said, whoever doesn't know, Doug McDaniel is going to play again. He's only suspended on road games, which is pretty ridiculous, but that's what they decided. He is their leading scorer, and really it's the only chance they have to keep the game close. But I just can't see one Ohio State game changing, the fortunes of Michigan. They're 2-8 straight up, 1-9 against the spread in their last 10. They lost to McDonald's, like Andy said. Yes, McDonald's. I know it's McNeese State. Illinois.
I wasn't following. I was like McDonald's.
They beat them the last 6 times. They won the last 3 at Michigan, and the last 3 against the spread at Michigan. Toast said, Shannon's going to be out for the season probably, but they struggled against Maryland, but there's a world of difference between Michigan's defense and Maryland's defense. Maryland's 22nd, Michigan's 131. I just don't see Michigan's going to take shots from the perimeter, but I just don't see them hitting enough to keep it close.
Bama Boy says Toast is a smart man. Go blue. So Toast, you and Bama Boy can hold hands and lose together on Michigan. Illinois is the move here. Our poll likes Illinois, as you would expect. 55%, 23% in favor of Illinois.
Isn't that line just a little – nobody betting Illinois think that line's weird?
Oh, no, it's definitely weird. That's 100% weird.
Everybody's just –
No, I don't think so. Michigan just had a nice home win against Ohio State.
Yeah, but look, before that, it's been awful.
Anyway, on to NBA. Oklahoma City on the road in Utah, and no question that this line, we're talking about lines that don't look 100% right, it may look a little bit off at first glance, but honestly, I'm not sweating it. I'm going to put my pick up here, which is, as you would already know, the same team I've been betting blindly for a while now. It's Utah +3, and I bet the money line too. And I know the line's going to scare a lot of people, but hear me out. I think this Utah Jazz winning streak is still so new that the casual NBA fan, the casual NBA bettor, probably may not have even caught on to this yet. I think it's just now trending like, okay, wow, are the Jazz not bad? Because if you just glance at the record, they're still just 22-20. So it's like, well, you got to put yourself in the mind of someone who doesn't really follow it every day like we do. If they just look at these two teams, their brain's going to be like, oh, Oklahoma City only 3.5. They might not have even realized that the Jazz have been the hottest team in the NBA. So I think taking that into consideration, the line doesn't look nearly as bad. But there's no way I'm stopping betting the Jazz. I've bet them every single game for so long now, and they've paid me almost every single time. So yeah, I'm taking the points with the Jazz at home. Oklahoma City does need a win. But the thing is, you used to be able to trust OKC on the road. I think they're 1-5 in their last 6 against the spread on the road. So Oklahoma City hasn't even been producing on the road like they're normally. And I think it was Prop Beaver yesterday was telling me that Oklahoma City's defense on the road had been particularly terrible. So yeah, I'm on the Jazz, and I expect most of us to be on the Jazz together. If the Jazz run is about to come to an end, hey, so be it. We had a great run, but I'm not bailing on the ship yet. Prop Beaver.
Yeah, so what I had mentioned yesterday, OKC 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 road games. And over the last month, their paint defense is 30th in efficiency and 25th in frequency, and the Jazz have been living in the paint recently. Yeah, I don't know how I'm feeling with this game. Right now, I want to go ahead and take a deeper look at Jalen Williams over rebounds and assists. His role has been growing, especially as a distributor. He's kind of taking over that secondary distributor role that Josh Giddey's had the past 2 years as a Thunder. He's kind of taking that from him. If you look at some recent game logs, you see he's cashed now his last 5 of 7 games over 9.5 rebounds and assists. The one thing that worries me is that the Jazz are good on the glass, but in terms of allowing assists, as good as the Jazz defense is, they are still a defense that allows a ton of assists. The problem with taking Williams' regular line at 4.5, it's juiced to -160, but I would say at 5.5, he has hit 5+ assists against the Jazz twice before, and that was without the secondary role really flourishing into a good distributor, good ball handler. So that's what I'm looking at. Don't really have anything for
So Jalen Williams over assists?
Essentially. Rebounds
What
and
a
assists.
boring
That's what
ass
I'm looking
bet.
at.
Scoop?
What a boring ass bet. Takes a squares bet on the board. What a boring ass bet. All right.
It's going to win. So,
All right.
I'm on Team Square here. Jazz are hot. We're a Jazz program here. I want to move to Utah. Actually, just watching them become Mormon. Maybe they won. I mean, they've won and most uncomfortably covered since 6 straight. And now I'm more inclined to pick them now that yesterday was postponed. So now they're rested. If it was the other way around, maybe I wouldn't take them. But I see the chat. I know they're due for regression, but it is not this day. There's no way.
But it's not this day.
It is not this day. Jazz give up 5 less at home. They're 15-5 at home. They're like 9 in a row at home. I mean, Thunder has they have an awesome offense, but they're getting killed on the boards and they're going to get dominated here too. Plus, it's the 3rd game in 4 nights for OKC, so it's going to be a rough swing.
Want to know the last time the Jazz lost a game at home? December 8th. We're talking about a month and a half ago since they've lost the game in this building.
Interesting trend is they're 9-1 in their team total last 10 too. So
really
might be something to look at. Yeah.
Yeah, and with the Thunder struggling defensively on the road, Utah team total over maybe. Our poll definitely on the Jazz as you would expect, 59% to 32% in favor of Utah. So Jazz win the poll, and I believe college basketball is next, and it is. Washington, Cal, Pac-12. At first glance, and I don't know. Whoa, whoops! I accidentally got rid of our names. All right. At first glance, and I don't know much about Cal other than that one game that we all live bet and watched. This line, like Washington +2, doesn't that seem too easy? Isn't Washington much better than Cal, Toast?
I would think. I would. Yes, I think so.
Okay, is that the way you would go here?
Yes, I bet Washington +2 myself. Yes. It's just a pure fate at Cal for me. Washington has shown us over the course of the year that they can play and win in decent games. I mean, we saw them beat Gonzaga. I understand going on the road to Colorado and Utah. That's Colorado, Utah, then Oregon. That's a hell of a stretch. I know they played Oregon at home, but I don't really put too much into the stock of losing in Colorado and Utah on that mountain trip. And then that loss to UCLA was pretty bad on the road. But this Cal team is just not somebody that I'm trying to get behind. I know that AMAC has came over from Texas Tech, and they were supposed to give them a little bit of jump, but they just got beat by Oregon. I mean, they beat a UCLA team that is pretty bad. I understand that they beat Colorado too, but I don't really think Colorado's that good. I think Colorado is one of the more overrated teams in this conference. So I think Washington's there. I bet Washington. I don't love it, but with Washington, you have one of the most experienced teams in the country that can really score the basketball. And their defense is starting to really pick it up better. I think that Paul Mulcahy is having a little bit of effect on Severe Wheeler because he's starting to clean things up a little bit. You're still going to hold your breath when you're betting this team like Washington, but I still think it's the right side to be on.
I'm putting a Washington graphic up for me too, but I don't know much about these two programs. I bet Washington. I have a place in my heart for Washington now because if you guys remember on the live show, you all took, I think it was Oregon State. You always Arizona State, and I took Washington by myself. So Washington, they got my allegiances. But like I said, don't know a ton about these programs, but this is the way I would go. Andrew?
Yeah, I agree with Toast. My main reason, I think this is a big bounce back. Nothing right now is more embarrassing than losing to UCLA. Like, that was bad from Washington. I know it was a road game, but still, losing to UCLA is bad. They were also UCLA was coming off a 45-point loss, and they went in. Washington went into UCLA and lost that game. They go staying in California. They bounce back. They're the better team. Yeah, I really don't see it from Cal, so I like Washington here.
Someone said Sauce says Michael Penix might show up. Nah, I just was back at the Washington that time because it was their first home game after the Natty, man. They were going to be fired up.
That comment wins the day.
So Washington dominates the poll. So this is definitely a very square, very public road dog here. 53% to 18 in favor of Washington.
Someone called Andy.
Oh, I forgot. Scoop.
No, that's all right. Someone called Andy Ed Sheeran on a wish.
Did you say Ed Sheeran? It's Sheeran, right? Isn't it?
Sheeran. I don't know. I don't listen to his music. Anyway, Washington lost to UCLA. Give me Cal. That's about it. That's all I gotta say about that.
Cal -2. So we have someone that bet Cal. Ed Sheeran. What in the hell?
It's like the Make-A-Wish Ed Sheeran.
Next. Back to the NBA. All right, Memphis at Minnesota. This line's at 12 or 12.5, depending on what sports books. I'll put 12.5, but depending on your sports books, it might be an even 12. Over 214.5, under 214.5. Prop Beaver?
I got nothing for this one.
You're such a coward, dude.
I would probably lean Grizzlies plus the points. I mean, Timberwolves on a back-to-back. They had a closer game with the Pistons than expected, so it took a little bit of energy out of them. They had to play most of their minutes. Now they're coming back facing Grizzlies team with nobody. I mean, I'm sure they're not really getting up for this game. It's more like just get this out of the way, move on to the next one. Grizzlies have had 2 days of rest. They showed a lot in that Warriors game, but I don't really know if that's them showing a lot or just really showing just how truly pissed the Warriors are. So I would lean Grizzlies plus 12.5, but I mean, like, I need more of a sample size on what this Grizzlies team is without the 3 guards before I really confidently.
Actually, 4 guards if you include Derrick Rose.
3 guards.
You don't include Derrick. Okay.
No, I
Knicks
mean,
legend,
the guy
Derrick
plays like
Rose.
10 minutes a game.
Yeah, I'm sure they would be nice to have him in the lineup now with all the injuries, though. Let's not hate on the guy. He was an MVP.
He can't play.
All right, I'm going to talk now. All right,
Okay,
so
cool.
I'm going with Memphis plus 12.5. And disclaimer, this is high risk. I took the money line too. I took Memphis money line at plus 500, extremely high risk. But I don't think the market has really caught up to the fact that Minnesota isn't playing as well at home as they were earlier in the year. People look and they see, I think it's 16-2 at home on the year, and they're like, oh my God, T-Wolves are unstoppable at home. Well, they were really dominant at home the first month and a half of the season. Hasn't really been like that in the last month or so. I mean, they're just 3-6-1 against the spread in their last 10 at home. So this team hasn't been covering the number at home like that, but they're still getting priced as if they're this unstoppable home team that's blowing everybody out, despite that not being the case. And not to mention, Memphis has been covering the number on the road. They're 6-4 against the spread of their last 10 on the road. And then matchup-wise, obviously what Prop Beaver said is true, missing all those guards. I mean, Morant, Desmond Bane, Marcus Smart, Derrick Rose, all out. I'm including Derrick Rose because they would definitely love to use them and have some minutes from Derrick Rose in this one. But where's the strength of this Minnesota team? What are they built on? Their defense, right? Their interior defense with Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert down low. I think Jaren Jackson Jr. and Xavier Tillman can bang with those guys. I think that's a good matchup down low. So I don't even think Minnesota has the definite edge in the area where they always have the edge. Sure, on the guy. I mean, Mike Conley and Anthony Edwards are better than Luke Kennard and whoever the hell else is playing guard for Memphis tonight. But is that enough to cover a 12.5 point spread? I mean, Anthony Edwards is banged up. He was listed as questionable last night. They're on a back-to-back. They just played in Detroit last night. I think Memphis has a good shot to win this game. So to play it safe, take the 12.5 points. The money line I got at plus 500. It's a very high-risk bet. But I don't like the spot for Minnesota, and I don't like the matchup for Minnesota, and I think this number's inflated. So, yeah, I'm on Memphis. Scoop?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Memphis too. I mean, they're getting killed with injuries, but they're still getting it done with on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, they're not a good offense by any chance. They just hit 23s last game, so you got that going for you. I mean, Gigi Jackson, Vince Williams, all-stars, 100% all-stars. I mean, they're the worst 3-point team in the league, but I don't know. You pretty much said everything. It doesn't look great for the Wolves recently. I mean, they're not covering as much. They're 16-2 at home, and I just don't see them covering on a back-to-back either. 215 is such a low number, by the way, for the over/under. It's pretty insane. I don't even know. I wouldn't actually make a bet on this. I would just I guess I would lean Memphis plus 12.5 just because it's a high number.
Someone just said betting Memphis without any guards available is a donation. Dude, they're covering the spread. Like, they're covering the number. What are you basing that on?
I think they only covered the spread once. They only played one game without.
But I mean, they've been banged up there. Desmond Bane has missed games. Like, Marcus Smart has missed a bunch of games. Yeah, maybe they've only played one game without Morant, Smart, and Bane all together. But they played a bunch without Morant and Bane. They played a bunch without Morant and Smart. So, like, they've been thin at guard this whole season. 48% to 35% in favor of Memphis, the poll. Next.
I mean, I think you're a psychopath for betting the money line.
Oh, well, I'm playing the value. Plus 500. I think it should be closer to like plus 270. So it's just playing the value. It's not betting Memphis because I think they're going to win.
Oh, yeah, you do. Let's go Memphis.
If you think it's a lock, just say it's a lock.
Yeah, you're right. It's a whale. It's a whatever.
Good, thank you. Finally.
Pacers plus 7.5. Kings minus 7.5. Over 247.5. Under 247.5. All right. Pacers at Kings. So, yeah, probably ready anything for this one?
Yeah, it kind of just came to me while I was watching the show, so I didn't make a graphic for it beforehand. But I do like Buddy Hield in this spot a lot. Back in the starting lineup his last game, still no Halliburton. Now they traded away Bruce Brown Jr., which should further boost his minutes in this one.
So Buddy Hield what, bro? Spot. Like over points?
Over point? Jesus Christ!
Well, I gotta put the bet up so people can see
over points.
Okay.
For the love of fuck, I mean.
Well, people are tuning in. They're gonna be like, "What is he talking about?"
Listener.
That's the whole point of the graphic underneath.
I mean, God forbid I had gotten to it. God forbid.
You were about to go on a rant. Don't act like you weren't. Right. You can continue.
Facing his old team in the Kings, last 3 games he faced them as a Pacer, 21 points, 17 points, 25 points on 5-3 and 8-3. So he's been lighting it up from there. And what is the Kings' weakness if you look over the last 10 games? Well, they're 26th in 3-point frequency and 30th in efficiency above the break. They're 24th and 21st from the corner. But if you look at their paint numbers, 8th in efficiency. You look at their rim numbers, 3rd in efficiency. So this is just a perfect spot for a guy who doesn't shoot at all within 8 feet of the basket, but shoots 68% of his shots from outside. Now he's going to be facing his old team as well, which I think works for us. There's no lines for it yet, so it's hard to give you a firm whether I'm locking it in or not. But as long as it's not egregious, I'll be on Buddy Hield's over points tonight.
I don't need to say too much about this one because nothing has changed for my opinion on this game from last night, and I'm assuming most of you watched the video last night. I'm not thrilled with the idea of laying this kind of number with the Kings. I got Kings at 7.5, I think. But yeah, I'm laying it with the Kings here. Trends-wise, it looks like a clear-cut spot to bet the Pacers. They're actually 9-2-1 against the spread in their last 12 or something crazy like that. They've also been really good on the road. Meanwhile, the Kings, we know the Kings are a team you bet on the road. You don't bet them at home, especially as a big favorite. So everything I just said is pointing you towards a Pacers bet here. But matchup-wise, I really like the matchup for Sacramento. First of all, hold on. Let me check something. I don't want to give out fake information, but let me just check real quick. What the heck? All right, so first of all, Kings are coming off 3 straight losses. But it's not just that. They're 3 straight losses, but they were tough games. Now they're back at home. They're rested. Not hurt at all. Not even a single person on the injury report. It's a real nice get-right spot for the Kings in that capacity. But also the Pacers, the way they've been playing recently, they're not shooting outside shots at all. They're 20th in above the break 3 frequency, 24th in corner 3 frequency. The way that this offense is operating right now, they're attacking the rim at a really high rate. That plays directly into the strength of the Kings. I mean, that's all the Kings can do is protect the basket. They're terrible. I mean, when you fade the Kings is when they're playing a team that can really shoot the lights out, like a Hawks team. Well, actually, that's a bad example because the Hawks have really switched their play style up recently too. So a bad example. Boston would be a good one where it's like, I can't take the Kings against Boston. That's a good example. The Nets also would be a tough matchup for the Kings. They take a lot of jump shots. Pacers, no. They attack the rim. It's a really good matchup for the Kings, and it's a good bounce-back spot. So I think they win comfortably. Oh, also, without Halliburton, the Pacers have really been struggling protecting the basketball. A lot of turnovers, which plays into the Kings' strength as well. Kings are real good at running the fast break. They force turnovers, and I think they win by blowout fashion. So I'm on the Kings. Scoop?
Yeah, I was actually just going to say they turned the ball over a lot without that's actually what I was going to lead with without Halliburton. I mean, Pacers are on their 4th game on their road trip. It started out well, but the Jazz just decked them, shooting 55% from the field. Indiana leads the NBA in offensive efficiency, but they're 26th defensively. I mean, that's the way they're losing games. I mean, I know the Kings just blew a 22-point lead, and their free throws certainly didn't help anything. Overall, I think the Kings are a little above average team. They're not anything special, but Siakam's not going to play. Pacers are already quite, shorthanded. They're going to be without Halliburton, Mathurin's, questionable. Obi's questionable. So, them missing all those players and Indiana's defense in general, and I think the Kings are due for a bounce back. So I like the Kings.
So Scoop is on the Kings too. I like this comment right here it's from that same guy, Corey Moss. He likes 2 unders tonight. But yeah, if you look at this line, 247.5, they're pricing this total as if Halliburton's playing, and he is most definitely not. Neither is Siakam. So I would lean under here too. He says the under is a lock with fire emojis, which that means he really likes it. But yeah, I like that too at the under, or maybe a Pacers team total under might be a good look too.
The under is cashed in all 4 games since Halliburton went out.
It's forced. Yeah, see, they're perfect. The under's 4-0 in Pacers games since Halliburton's went out, and it's at 247.5, which means the market hasn't really caught on yet. Yep. Next. Last game, college basketball, Pac-12. Oops. Andy really likes this game. Right? Didn't you say that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I thought so. I wasn't trolling. You really did.
I was
say
clicking.
that.
I was clicking the thing to unmute. Wasn't unmuting.
Oh, okay. Let's bring Andy up first then, because he said yesterday before he left work, he said, I really like this game, and I got the graphics ready. So we have Oregon on the road in Colorado. Coach Prime. Do you like Colorado at home here?
No, actually, I like Oregon. I think Oregon can win the game. They are 6.5-point underdogs in this one. Oregon's come out really well in Pac-12 play. They're actually 5-0, number 1 in the conference. You could be weary about their schedule a little bit. They did just beat Cal, but they did beat Washington earlier. UCLA and USC, that brings me nothing. Colorado undefeated at home, but if you look at the schedule at home, they haven't played anybody. They beat USC. That's pretty much their best win, maybe other than Washington. Oregon, good road team, not great. But how hot they've come in Pac-12 play makes me think this team finally got to the point I expected them to be. I expected them to be a top 25 team, top 20 team coming into the season. They look like they finally rounded into that shape, and they are a dark horse coming down the stretch here. I think they win this conference. I actually have a future on them to win the entire conference regular season. So the way they're playing now, I really like this Oregon team.
Jeff Lansing's just trolling me again. He said Coach Prime might show up. That was just for Washington and Michigan. That's it. I'm not going back with that take. I'm putting Oregon up for me. This is a combination of 2 things. One, what Andy just said. He liked it a lot. He sounds confident. Andy went 7-1, by the way, on the last live show. So he's been feeling it recently. So it's a combination of he said he really likes it, and he's been producing. He's been winning. And right here, line was at 6.5, 7 a.m. The consensus line drops to 5.5 by 11 a.m. So line movement also supports that there's some professional money coming in on Oregon. So, yeah, I'm backing Andy, and I'm backing that line movement. I'll take the Ducks. I'll bet this one. And I like that it's on late because always the late games get some good action, like at 11:30 in the Discord. Everyone's watching the same shit.
That's because you're bored and you don't have nothing to do. You're like,
right, it's hard to keep up with at like 7:30 because some people are watching the Michigan game. Some people are watching the Pacers. Like, there's all kinds of shit. But come 11:30 p.m., we're all watching one thing. Like, last night, we were all watching that stupid-ass fucking Nevada game. Like, there's nothing else on. All right. So, Toast, do you agree with Oregon?
Yeah, I agree. It scares me because I've been getting killed in these spots. But yeah, everybody's going to look at Colorado, who's 10-0 at home. They're winning games by an average of 20 points. Not to mention they beat this Oregon team by 27 points last year when they played in Colorado. I think Oregon is hands down probably the best team in the Pac-12. I agree with Andy there. They are like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get sometimes with them. They're horrible at the free throw line. But at the same time, you have Dana Altman, who is one of the best coaches in the country. So, yeah, I'm on Oregon as well. But, yeah, I agree with Andy. I'm on Oregon.
Scoop is a big Coach Prime guy. He has a big future. Colorado win the Natty next year, I'm sorry. Are you bailing on Coach Prime?
No, I can't fade the Buffs. I'm going to ride with I think Shedeur Sanders has a good game today. No, I mean, they're 10-0 at home. They've covered 7 of the last 10. I don't care. Oregon's undefeated in conference play right now. I mean, they've been impressive. They've both been battling injuries all year. So, I mean, Oregon's true freshman, Evans and Shellstad has been great. But Colorado has a better true freshman in Cody Williams. He's gonna ball out tonight. I mean, Oregon's 1-11 in Colorado. They can't win there. Colorado's 12th in 3-point percentage, 26th in assists, top 50 in offensive and defensive efficiency. I hope everyone's hammering Oregon. I hope they are.
Us sharps are hammering Oregon. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not Oregon. It's Oregon.
Oregon.
It's not Oregon.
It's not Oregon.
Oregon. Colorado's 0-5-1 against the spread in their last 6. I love that everyone's betting Oregon. I think Buffalo should have a great day on offense. They're averaging 80.2 points per game. They've been shooting good in their home arena. They have the 13th best field
This is such a horseshit analysis.
I
Ducks.
love it.
Ducks.
I love it. Colorado is going to kill them. Kill them by 15.
All right.
That might be true, but Cody Williams doesn't even
Cody
start.
Williams
He
is
comes
awesome.
off the bench, so I don't know if he's better. But
He's gonna start by the end of the year.
All right. Ducks are the move here, and the community agrees. Scoop is on his own little Colorado island. 46% to 34% Ducks. Now let's talk some community parlay.
You can't bet Oregon.
Oregon. Here was yesterday's. What blew it yesterday? Oh, the Heat. And the Hawks. Wow. So it took a couple losses there. All right, community parlay. Let's get one. That we had 3 out of 4, and then I think we've lost 3 straight since. So let's get back on the winning side here. All right, so I'll pull up. You know what? I'll go through because I don't have a list of the games, so I'll go through. Game number 1 was Minnesota, Michigan. So that was Michigan State money line. Game 2 was that South Florida one. Who's Memphis? Everyone had Memphis money line in that. Oh no, South Florida money line. That was they picked the dog in that one. Game 3 was Bulls Raptors money line. Game 4 was
it's Spurs Hornets.
Spurs Hornets. All right, first leg of the community.
I'm just going off the list you sent.
I know that. Yeah, but I messed that list up.
Yeah, that game's
my
tomorrow.
bad then.
That game's
I
tomorrow.
was just trying to help. My bad.
No. I messed that list up.
I thought he was joking too. That's why.
No, I don't watch the WWE.
Someone said.
Bill Goldberg.
Someone said, "What do you expect from a guy who wears a Manchester City shirt?" Damn.
It's beautiful. Glad we didn't talk about Utah today, by the way.
I know. I ended up leaving it out. I didn't realize it was 16-point spread.
Well, plus Worcester, I don't even know if he's going to play. So
Yeah. Nah. Oh, the Hawks did win, by the way. They lost. See, they lost against the spread. So Raptors money line is on there first.
I would lead under in that Oregon State Utah game if anybody's wondering, by the way. Even if he does play.
Knicks money line. What other games did we do? I can check it here. This game 7 was Washington Cal, and Washington money line won that. Then we had game 8 was Memphis Minnesota, and we'll put T-Wolves money line because people. You know what? I'll put Grizzlies money line on there because it did win the poll, even though I doubt people would vote for Grizzlies money line. And then we have Pacers Kings money line. All right, second leg of the community parlay.
Also, you can't get mad at the Jaguars hat. Nobody cares enough about them to even trash it. So,
yeah, I no comment.
Yeah. I need you to watch the Jags game with me because they came back from 30 the last time we watched.
I know. That was crazy. All right, 5-4. It looks like Knicks money line by a mile here. They want to know if there's a spaghetti lock tonight, Scoop.
It's on hold.
Why?
3 in a row. Look, I can't talk, man. I have problems. 3 in a row lost, so I can't do it right now.
3 in a row lost. Wow, and then you're quitting.
11-6, but still, I got to take a break.
All right, so we got Michigan State money line. Then we got Kings money line. We're both second. Then we got Oregon money line, and let's see another one that got votes. We'll put Illinois money line back in there. All right, the last 2 legs. So the first and second place of this poll will get in. Spaghetti lock was Struff. Nah, Jess, I tailed that Struff bet last night. It was that guy Mix, the German guy. And that's who I tailed. I don't know. Wait, actually, Jess, did you have Struff too?
Yeah, it's Oregon, not Oregon. Spell it wrong.
It's spelled the It's spelled the same, regardless of how you say it. I'm pretty sure, though, people from the Northwest call it Oregon.
I don't. Do they?
It's Oregon, right?
Yes. It's Oregon, not Oregon. It would have an E
I
at
don't know
the
what you
end.
do in Alaska.
No, Oregon. That would be
If it was
Oregon.
Oregon, it would have an E at the
No,
end.
that'd be Oregon.
Oregon.
No, Gone?
No, if he Toast said if there's an E at the end, then it would be Oregon.
No, it wouldn't. How do you
Yes,
say?
it-
How do you
yes, it
say
would.
gone?
It's no. You're
Oh,
not saying
right.
Like that.
I guess gone.
It's Oregon.
I can't even deal with it. These East Coasters.
All right. So we got Kings money line.
Unbelievable.
Is anyone doing this?
Nope. but
Yeah,
I will right now.
yeah.
Someone get a sports book out, please.
Raptors, Knicks. Okay.
Raptors, Knicks, Kings, Michigan State.
So if it's not Oregon, why isn't it ORG?
Bro, I didn't invent the state. I'm just telling you
OREGUN,
what I've been told.
Oregon.
I'm not from there.
Obviously, you can't say it right.
Okay, so someone's saying it's pronounced Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon.
Oregon.
It's just
Oregon.
Just terrible spelling. Then I don't know who made the state.
Came for the fire bet, stayed for the linguist. It's Oregon. Thank you, Jordan Tippett. It's Oregon. That's how you say it. Can someone give me odds on this?
He's doing
Michigan
it.
State. What's the third one? Kings. I can't see it on my screen.
Kings. It's Kings.
Raptors, Knicks, Kings, Michigan State. Well, I mean, how long does it take? I could have done it myself.
274. 274.
All right, community parlay. Raptors money line, Knicks money line, Kings money line, Michigan State money line, plus 274. Let's get back in the win column with the community parlay. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Tomorrow will be an NBA show. Jay Briggs is coming. He's here every Friday now. He's committed. He's going to be here every Friday. Friday NBA nights are usually a good one. Usually get some good games. I believe we have Nuggets Celtics. That's the big game for tomorrow night. So yeah, tomorrow night, same time, 4 p.m. For NBA. And then Saturday morning, we'll be back with the 4 on the screen right here for College Basketball Saturday. So thanks, as always, for watching. Hopefully we have a winning night. Talk to you guys soon.